Welcome all my lovelies to our Yin practice tonight. I'm really excited because I love Yin Yoga and I love restorative, especially if you tend to be very busy. We don't have much opportunity to just stop and to just be. So we are going to be doing a chest opening class, and I love chest and neck because it's areas that I struggle with. And a lot of people do, just because of the nature of our lives where we're always leaning over computers or driving or cooking or sewing or whatever the case, we tend to be in that kind of shape. So it's really nice just to spend a bit of time opening up our hearts. So for equipment, grab all the toys. Whenever we do Yin Yoga or restorative, just grab as much as you can because you never know if you're going to need it. So I've got a block, smaller block, and I've got a head cushion. I've got some yoga bricks, and then I have a bolster. So you may use cushions off your couch, or you can use your pillows off your bed. Just depends how firm they are. So this is quite soft, but it's firm, soft and firm. Can you have soft and firm? Like you get bolsters that have got beans in it and stuff like buckwheat. I prefer to have these softer ones. They're a bit nicer for Yin practice. Marvelous. So shall we get started? So we are going to start with a supported fish. And we're going to do supported fish to really open up the throat area, the shoulders and the chest, and improve the mobility in the upper back. So especially as we get older, we tend to get a little bit rounded in this upper back. So fish is also going to open up that thoracic spine. So different options for your fish. If you have your blocks like that, this can be quite high for some people, so you can turn this around, and if you have that quite high, then you might want to have that block in that position. Now if you're not using blocks, you can use towels. If you roll a towel up into like a long tube, a long shape, what are we talking about here, towels, and you can put that between the shoulder blades. Anything where the shoulder blades will be able to go down either side. Okay, so if you have a Pilates ball, you could use the Pilates ball, the little round balls. Like I said, anything that's going to help you. If you've got like a cushion, a really soft cushion that you can roll up and put long ways, then you can use that as well. So to get onto the fish, what I normally do is I'll start with the block on the back. So I'll hold it. Now you want your block where the bra strap is, somewhere around there. Any lower and it's not going to feel nice, and you get into the kidney area. So we don't want to get onto that. So make sure you are somewhere bra strap and above, and then come down onto your elbows. And like I said, it takes a little bit of fidgeting, but it's kind of one of these things, might not be comfortable, but it's like, oh yeah, that feels right. So like I say, if the block goes too low, it's going to feel horrible on there, and then that's telling you that it's in the wrong place. So once I'm there, I'm now going to pop the block over there, okay? Now you have the choice. If you want to have your legs straight like the fish, you can. You can also have your legs in butterfly to help open up those hips. Or you can have your feet wide and your knees together to turn off the muscles in the hips. So lots of options for your legs. I'm not really fussed with what you do with the legs because I'm focusing on this top half. So by all means, pick whichever variation you want to do with your legs. And then with the arms, to help open up the chest, let's have the palms facing up. Okay, so when the palms are facing up, I'm going to exaggerate what happens is it opens up those collarbone areas. Okay, so I think I'm going to fall off of my vlogs in a minute. So we're going to be here for about 5 minutes, give or take, depending if I can read the clock or not, or if I don't fall asleep. Ooh, I'm going. Like I said, they're a little bit funny to try and stay balanced. Good. So as you come into this position, just relax across your chest. Open your jaw and just let it go. Because often when we bite down on the jaw, you hold tension in the neck and this area. So if you create space between your back teeth, you'll find that that naturally releases around the neck. Once you release around the neck, just let your collarbones drop. So gravity will do all of the work for you. Okay, so just let gravity have your shoulders. And then just breathe. So with the yin practice, we want to maintain stillness. The only time you really want to move in a yin practice is to adjust yourself to go a little bit deeper. But with the yin practice, we don't want to work hard. We don't want to force our body into stretches. You want to find that point. Like for me, I can feel it across the chest, and then that's where we hold it. So it's not like a hatha stretch or a normal stretch where you're really trying to, and I use the term, force your body to stretch. This just wants to be very passive. And then just start to connect with your breathing. Breathing in through your nose. Lifting your collarbones. And expand your rib cage. And then exhale. Inhaling through the nose. Expand your ribs. Expand your belly. And exhale. So in the yin practice, we want to try and encourage a longer breath out. And that helps to calm your body. So often I like to use counting to help me. And the numbers don't really matter, to be honest. It's just one way of trying to lengthen the exhale. So perhaps taking a breath in for 4 counts. And then exhale for 6 counts. Inhale for 4. And exhale for 6. And your numbers might be different. Your numbers might be breathing in for 3 and out for 5. We all have a different lung capacity, so just pick numbers, but as long as your breath out is the longest. As your heart rate slows down and your body calms, you might notice that you can start to breathe in a little longer and a little slower. And you might find your exhales will also be a little longer and a little deeper. So your body needs less oxygen, which is why the breath slows down, and that's a good thing. Now and again, just scan your body. Make sure that there's no tension creeping into the jaw, the shoulders, or the back. So after your next exhale, just let your breath return back to normal. We're going to slide the shoulders and elbows under the shoulders. And it can be quite awkward to come out of this. So just lift your head, tuck the chin in, and then push down into your elbows. Oh, and it's quite intense. And then slowly come up. Sometimes they're not glamorous how you come out of these things. And we want to be very mindful when we come out of our yin poses, because, and even normal hatha, sometimes injuries don't happen as we're in the pose. It's usually going into a pose or coming out the pose. So we want to be mindful of the movement in and out, which is why we just take it nice and slowly. So hopefully now you feel a little bit more stretched across the chest. So we're going to come into a pose called open wing, and I'm going to show you from two different angles. So you may just want to watch me for a moment. So we'll be lying on the side, on the front, and I'm going to demonstrate to the front, and then I'm going to turn around. So the left hand, I'm going to use the left hand. So we'll take the left hand out to the side, and the palm is facing down, and the hand is in line with the shoulder, okay? Your right hand, you'll put under the shoulder, and you're going to push yourself over onto the left side of your body, and then bring your knees in towards the chest, and you can pop your head on the floor. Well, this is where I personally like to have something under my head. Okay, so I'm going to now demonstrate this from the other side. So you take your arm out to the side, right hand comes onto the floor, and you're going to turn yourself. Okay, so the palm of your extended arm, your left arm, needs to be facing down, and then you'll bring the knees up, and then you can relax your head down. Your top arm, you can either take it behind you for a more of an opening, or you can just leave the hand on the floor there. And if you want to, you can pop a block under your head. Okay? So we're going to start with the left side. So I'm actually going to turn around so that I'm facing you when I do this. And then I'm going to... So the left arm is the one that's going out first. So we lie on the side. Forehead is down, left hand comes out, shoulder height, palm on the floor. Right hand under the shoulder, and then turn your body. And then sometimes it just takes a little bit of a wiggle to get you into the right place. And then your head can be on the block. Now your hips want to be stacked if possible, and top shoulder is above the bottom shoulder. So what we're actually trying to do is get the body to roll backwards to put a stretch on the front of that left shoulder. If you have tight muscles in the front of that left shoulder, you may start to get some tingling or pins and needles sensation. So we're putting the tissues around the brachial nerve onto a stretch, which is why you might experience those pins and needles. So you're not doing any harm, but if it gets too much, you can always lower the arm down or just bring your top shoulder down a little bit. Okay. Now, if you want to get more out of this, you can take the top leg up to the ceiling, and you kind of want to let the weight roll backwards. Top hand can be behind the back, and then we can settle there. And so if that's too much for you, you can just stay in this position. You're still putting that shoulder onto a stretch. So whatever position you want to choose, you can take that position. Sometimes I find I have to be a little bit too active in some poses, so I prefer to take the more passive route. So come back to your breath. As soon as we settle into the pose, we want to breathe. If your mind starts to wander, just bring your awareness back to the counting of the breath. Perhaps you want to do a body scan just to make sure that you haven't got tension creeping in around your jaw, your neck. I can even feel a little bit of tension in the lower back. Remember, your exhales want to be longer than your inhales. Just allowing your breath to be this full breath right down into the bottom of your belly. On your next exhale, just let the breath return back to normal. We're going to go, come out the same way we've gone in. So top hand comes on the floor. So straightening the legs and just roll onto the front. Very gently, just bring that left arm in. So we're going to take this straight into a neck stretch. So the head was towards the left, well, we're looking towards the right, sorry. We're actually just going to turn the head and look to the left. Now, if you've got really big boobs, you might need to put your head on a block. And then just take the arms down to the side. I'm going to put a block under my head just to keep my microphone off the mat. And we're just going to stay there for a moment. So the neck is turning in the opposite direction. Relax your shoulders. And what you want to focus on is trying to get your right shoulder away from the right ear. And just bringing your head back to the center. So from here, we're actually going to now use the right arm. I'm just going to turn myself around so that I'm facing you. So we'll be using the right arm this time. So right arm comes out to the side. Left hand goes underneath. Coming onto your right hip, and then just shuffle those knees up. Top hip is pulling backwards, top shoulder is pulling backwards. Your top hand can either be there, or you can take the hand over the back. And again, if you want to take that one step further with the leg, you can. I'm going to stay over here. And have a cushion under your head. So for me personally, I don't like my head in that position. But if you haven't got any problem with your neck and that feels okay for them, you get benefit out of it because it is stretching the neck. But for me personally, I like to have a little bit of comfort. And as soon as you can, just come back to the breath. Breathing deep into your belly. And exhale any tension. And then just find stillness. So remember, we don't want to move too much unless you want to adjust yourself to go a little deeper. Otherwise, we want to try and stay completely still. Notice if you can take longer breaths. And maybe you can stretch your exhale just a little bit longer this time. And releasing any tension that you might find in your body. So from here, just letting your breath go back to normal. Popping your left hand onto the floor to support your body as you straighten your legs. Bring yourself down onto your front. And then bring your arms back. So the head was looking towards the left. This time we're going to send the head to the right side. You can pop a block under your head if you need. I'm just putting a block there so I don't muffle the microphone too much. And then relax your shoulders. So as you take your head towards the right side, now you're focusing on pulling that left shoulder away from the left ear. And then just slowly coming back to the starting position again. So if you roll on your side, and so I'll be lying on my right hand side. Again, it doesn't matter, we're going to be doing both. So you can have a cushion under your head if you want to again. I like a cushion just because it helps my neck, but you don't have to have one. Your arms will be out to the front, and all we're going to do is take the top hand, lie down so that the whole top half of your body is on the floor. So you'll find that the knees need to lift up. Okay, so we don't want to try and force the knee to stay there. What we're trying to get is the shoulders flat on the floor. So just enjoying a little twist with this as well. Your head can be pointing up. You can look towards your left hand, whatever feels nice for you. I'm just going to drop that hand a bit. And I quite like the twist in the back. It's a nice little release there. So as you come into your twist, just focus on the top rib cage and really direct your air into there, so that expansion of the lungs will help to stretch all those tissues in between each of the ribs, all those tissues around the rib cage, side body. I'm just going to take one more breath. On the next exhale, just bringing that top arm and gently coming back over again. So you might feel it down there and across that top hip. So we're going to go to the other side, so you can just turn around, but I'm going to gracefully fling myself over to this side so I can face you. And then, so on the other side, if you want a cushion under your head, have a cushion, otherwise don't. And then top hand comes up. Let your hips roll back and just let the arm drop back. So for me, I feel a lot more stiff on this side, like I haven't got as much range. So you can see I can't even get the arm there. So you can take the arm a little lower, or just let that top knee come a little bit higher. But you just don't want to be lying on the back. So you want to have some kind of gentle stress. So I'll probably hold it about there. And then just settle into this position. So remember, we're just after a little bit of discomfort. We're not after like, oh, having this big, massive stretch. Just put my arm there. So I feel for me, the restriction is more in the back than it is across the shoulders. But we're stretching off this whole area. So fascia is diagonal in the body. So this is why we're having a little bit of a skew twist, so that we can really release all the tissues up around the neck and the chest and right down through the body. Remember that head can be looking towards your backhand or the ceiling. And you might find after a few breaths, you can actually start to deepen that a little bit. So maybe bring the hips a little bit more forward. The tissues do give quite quickly in this lower back area. After your next exhale, just let your breath return back to normal. And as your tummy draws in, just bring in that top arm nice and gently back over again. Ooh. And then we'll push ourselves up into a seated position. So just any comfortable position for yourself. You can keep your eyes closed if you want to, or you can just gaze to the floor. So just take a moment just to really appreciate the position that you're in right now, the stillness, the calmness, the time you've given yourself just to have a lovely little stretch. Just blinking your eyes open, taking a breath in. Reach your hands up to the ceiling. And then as you exhale, bring your hands down to your heart space. And from my heart to yours, thank you for joining me today. Take care. Bye.